of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning everybody and welcome to the Wild African Bush. Here we have one of the Birmingham males. And as sure you all know, this is Safari Live.
Ready.
Standing by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are live, you are live.
Welcome everybody. Can you believe right off the bat this morning we have this beautiful male lion. But just before we have another look at him, my name is Taylor and welcome. You're on a live African safari. We've got Eggsy, or Zander as some of you may know him. And it is so happy that we don't have a little bit of rain because it's warmed up quite nicely today. But have another look at this beautiful big boy, just in case he gets up and moves around again. Now, everybody, can you believe that this is all happening right now? This is being filmed live as we speak, which is quite amazing. So if you'd like to interact with myself or Jamie, who's going to say hello to you a little bit later, you are welcome to either hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can even email us. And you can email us on questions at WildEarthTV. Sorry, I just heard what sounded like some growling in the distance. Or it could be a cruiser too, I'm not sure. Hang on, I'm just trying to have a quick listen. No, it's a vehicle. So this big male lion has been calling most of the morning. And I don't know if it's because he's declaring his territory or if he's actually looking for the rest of the female Nkuhumas who have been around too. Jamie thought she heard some calling coming a little bit further north of us, so possibly these lions are all sort of all spread out at the moment. Sorry everybody, I've got a little tickle in my throat. There you go, now he's up again. He's going to be doing this. He was also contact calling a little bit earlier. No, you're going to just face away from us. That's kind. And he has got a really big belly. Come on, do a big call. No, it sounded like he maybe wanted to start roaring. Let me reposition. Isn't this amazing? What an incredible start. I must tell you, everybody, we also had audio of a big male leopard this morning who I was actually trying to follow up on, and then I bumped into our friend over here, as you can see, and you can also see that the clouds are starting to lift, the air is warming up, and I think the rain could possibly be over until our next spell again. But we did have a really good amount of rain, and that's going to put lots of grass. Remember everyone, we also got to do our picture a little bit later today on quarantine and compare the differences over the next few days as we watch the grass grow. But this is a really stunning looking lion. I was so shocked. I had to ask Jamie this morning and confirm with her, as well as the lovely ladies in final control this morning, if this was actually a Birmingham, because the two Birminghams that I've seen are very scarred up and are not the prettiest looking lions, but he, I suppose in a family you've always got that one good looker. And this is him. What a lovely lion. That would be amazing. And we are sitting no more than 10 meters away from this male lion. So I'm going to apologize now if he does start to roar, because I'm not going to say anything. The camera is probably going to vibrate a little bit because we're so close. And that will just give you an idea as well of how powerful their voice actually is. Come on, boy, one more. So I wonder what he ate. I wonder if he maybe fed on that buffalo carcass, or what he's been doing. Maybe he caught something for himself. I don't know when they last saw this male or where they last saw him. So maybe some of you are very active and are watching all the dam cameras and watching all the Facebook pages of the different lions could help me out a little bit and let me know where this male was last seen. There we go, the rangers are starting to wake up. Good morning, Wan Madoda and Gonyam. We are just on the western side of quarantine, that most western Dlela, and then slightly south from there, just myself on lock. Just letting everybody know that we've got this beautiful big male lion. We can't keep a sighting like this a secret, everybody. I'm really hoping that he's going to roar so I can tell you a little bit more about the roar. I almost want to wait for him to do it, but now it doesn't seem like he's going to, so I'll tell you anyway. So a male lion's roar can reach about 130 decibels. That's like standing in front of those massive speakers when you go to a big rock concert, and your body, it basically vibrates. You don't just hear it, you feel it. So they've got a resonating chamber. Come on, I'm talking about you roaring. You can, there we go, listen. Oh, well, that was a little bit of a pathetic attempt, I'm afraid. He wanted to, and then he stopped. Even just those beginning stages of that roar, I could already feel the vehicle vibrating. So, sorry, as I was saying. No, come on. Oh, big yawn. Sorry, everybody. I keep stopping halfway through because I'm hoping that he is going to let out a big roar for us. Come on. Come on. Do a big one. You did such a big, beautiful roar earlier this morning. Come on, boy. Maybe whoever can speak to the animals can ask him very nicely to let out a full roar this morning. But he's building up to something. So let's follow him. We just need to reposition now. And hopefully we get to experience this amazing roar. And then I'll be able to finish telling you about the roar. But for now, I'm just going to carry on with him, just in case he does let out a bellowing howl. There we go. You see him actually marking his territory now. There you go. He's going to urine spray up against that tree. He also rubbed his cheek on those leaves, so they've got glands on the sides of their faces. And then the most common way that lions will mark territories is by spraying urine, as you can see at the moment. So if I wasn't sure if this was a Birmingham, I think this would be... There we go, listen. Morning. I hope you all cranked up the volume for that, and maybe your computer screens began to vibrate as well. We're going to reposition. We're not going anywhere. We're staying with this boy. So as I was saying, I'm just going to quickly recap, seeing as we've now heard this male roar. It's about 130 decibels that you experience. So the vibrations start in your toes and they wriggle all the way up through your body. I've got goosebumps after something like that. It's amazing to see something along those lines. Here you go. He's on the move again. And I was saying they've got that resonating chamber in the backs of their throats, which helps amplify the sound so that it bellows out like that. There we go. We've got a male lion responding in the distance. So I presume now he's looking straight south, you can see that. And I can hear some lions down in the distance, the area that he is staring in. I think we're going to be battling some very thick vegetation this morning, because I'm sure he's going to make his way straight there. Maybe it was even a female that I heard. That's sort of where those females were left. No, he's going to sit down. Come on, somebody answered your call, and now you're just going to sit down. Right, everybody, I'm going to hang around with this Birmingham boy for a little bit longer. Let's go say good morning to Jamie.
Good morning and welcome on the Sunrise Safari. My name is Jamie and this morning I have Dave on camera. And what a beautiful morning it is promising to be. Fresh, cool and clear, lion roaring, leopard sawing. Whilst Taylor went off in search of a leopard, of course, Taylor, the lion whisperer McCurdy, found a lion. And she is over, actually we can see her, hold on, I'll show you where she is. With that lion, just over there. So our morning started off with Tingana, well I think it was Tingana, making a large racket, sawing right outside the DRC. Then the lion started roaring and I think Tingana decided that he was going to stay silent for a little while and not draw attention to himself. But he's here somewhere. And we're checking, while Taylor's been looking at this lion, we've been checking for this leopard to figure out where he's gone. I know Rexon was desperate to find him. He raced out first thing this morning. So he's out as well, helping us look. And let's see if we can't catch up with a gentleman who has been relatively elusive over the last few months. And Tingana is the dominant male leopard of this area. He's a massive male and he's wonderful. He's so terribly comfortable with vehicles and he's got that. And we spoke about this in the way that leopards are and what we love about leopards. And he's cool. Tingana is cool. He's just too cool. I'm hoping we're going to catch up with him now. The problem is with this wet soil, not that I'm complaining, is that leopards don't leave tracks. If I walked along this road now, I wouldn't leave a footprint. So it does get difficult. Our first few days after rain makes tracking tricky, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure this one out. Come on, Tingana. I'm hoping at some point he's going to soar and give away his position. When I talk about sawing for new viewers, and by the way, thank you to those of you who did send through the update that you could hear him on the dam camera. Obviously we could hear him as well from TRC. Leopards sawing is their roar. It's the equivalent of a lion's roar, but a leopard's, and it sounds like somebody with a bow saw sawing a log or something similar. It's a sort of a sound. I thought it was quite good. Not bad. They obviously do it much louder than I do. Standing by. Sorry guys, Aubrey's trying to call me. Copy, thanks Orbs. I'm just coming up to Zoe's now. That was going to be my next route. I'll also check with one of our tech guys who went in that direction. Right, now Connor's raced off to the Gowrie mast to go and change batteries, as always happens when it's a cloudy day. And the leopard's calling right there. So, between all of us, Rex is coming from the south. Aubrey's coming from the, what direction is that? East. And we are going from the north. And Tingana is on the move. Let's hope we can catch him before he gets to our boundary. He's definitely mobile west. Before I started chatting to Aubrey, Lou said, I wonder how ornithologists would write down the leopard call. And that's, of course, reference to the game we've been playing where we do literal readings of bird calls as written by ornithologists and bird watchers. Thoroughly entertaining. I think they'd probably just describe it as a sawing sound. Okay, we're going to race a little bit. I have a horrible feeling he's gone into his favourite block, which is just to the west of me. So while we search, let's go back to Taylor and her lion.
Well, Jamie, I wish you luck on your adventure trying to find Tingana. I've heard lots of wonderful stories about him, so really good luck there, and I hope you give it a good bash. We're still with my
Righty, unfortunately, Taylor's disappeared off your screens, and we will get that sorted out very, very soon. As I said, the Gauri repeater runs off solar power, and the batteries are charged by solar power, and we haven't had any solar over the last 2 days. Again, not that we're complaining, because it's brought some much needed rain, and I have to say, while we look for this leopard, it is a really, really beautiful morning. The sun is threatening to pop through the clouds. It's damp, it smells like wet earth, petrichor, for those of you who enjoy that particular word. I know it's one of James's favourites. The smell of the earth after rain, and I promise you, for us it is a most welcome smell indeed. Remember how we said yesterday, if you were watching our safaris, that it's a wonderful time just after the rain, because all of our big cats and territorial animals are out and about, remarking their territory. And that's exactly what Tingana's doing now. So he knows, as the dominant male leopard, instinctively he knows that his scent mark will have been washed away by the rain, and he will have no desire for another male to take a chance and think that the territory is unoccupied. So he heads out and he remarks his territory. My instinct tells me to look for tracks, but at the same time I know I'm not going to see them. Plus Connor's come through this way. We best warn Connor that he might have a nice leopard sighting. I'm sure he would enjoy that. Where should we go? Now, what do we think, everybody? Once we get to the Balanites Junction, if the leopard is not there, should we go Impala Plains or shall we go south? Which way is Tingana going to go? He usually goes straight west, but that's usually, and this is Tingana, who's a leopard, and there is no real usually when it comes to leopards. Ah, no! Connor heard him, and apparently it was already west of where Connor is. Connor's at Gowrie Mast. There's Rexon. I'll give him that update now, quickly. Oh my goodness, there's Connor. Oh no, it's Connor's worst nightmare. He's coming around the corner and we're live. Sorry, Connor. Rex. Shame. I'm sure we can save him the embarrassment and let him go past. Calling that side. Perfect, thank you. West of it. Perfect, thank you very much. Cheers, Connor.
Cheers, Connor.
We won't tell him we were live. Rex. Okay, let's head back to Taylor. She's got signal. I'll catch up with you soon.
Oh, we're just getting, unfortunately, the end of this lion's roar again. He is very vocal this morning, and he's now going to walk us through some very thick vegetation, I think. So let's just try and keep ahead of him. It's only me here, which is going to prove interesting. Sometimes it's nice to have an extra vehicle to help out, just so that they can sort of play leapfrog. But hopefully he's going to come towards the road. Please come towards the road. Okay, we need to try and find another way in here. Let's go here. So he's now going to the toilet. That's fine. It'll buy us some time this morning. There we go. There he is. Look how he's just gazing off into the distance. So I don't know if he's maybe been hearing this leopard that Jamie has been chatting about. I've got my earpiece in, so it's proving... Hang on. No, I can hear leopards. I mean, I can hear the other lions calling in the distance, everybody. I think they're in the same spot as they were last night. Good morning, Debbie from Vancouver. Debbie wants to know if this lion would feel uncomfortable while he's roaring with all that food inside his belly. And the answer to that is no, otherwise he wouldn't be roaring so frequently. So most of the time, yes, he's pushing the sound out from his stomach, but like I said, Debbie, there's actually a resonating chamber in the back of their throat, and that is what's producing that echoing sound. So it doesn't really have too much to do with their bellies. And like I said, now I can hear the others calling in the distance, so maybe it's the females though, because it's not quite a big roar. It's sort of quite subtle, and it's not a complete roar like what we've been hearing with this male either. So possibly those other lions are in the same spot as where Jamie left them last night. And it'll be quite nice to see if some more of the Birminghams will join up together. I think there's nothing more powerful than seeing more than one male lion together. And for those of you who have never watched the show, this is the Birmingham male, and he's got some, I suppose you could call them brothers. They might not all be blood brothers. They could be from different females. But they have 4 of them now in their coalition. Unfortunately, there were 5, and one succumbed to a buffalo injury. And now I am slowly being introduced to the entire group that moves around in this northern section of the Sabi Sands. But look at him there. Look at the gaze that he does. One of my favorite photos is actually to just frame his face and get a proper close-up. I think there's nothing more beautiful, nothing more powerful than that. Look at that. You'll see if any of the photos I ever take, I always take one, and I got such a beautiful one of him this morning, and he's gazing straight towards us. It almost looks like he's looking straight. No, he's not, but earlier it looked like he was looking straight through me. Come on, I think you need to get up and go towards that other group of lions. Good morning, Patricia. Patricia wants to know if this male lion, Blondie, is calling to the other Birminghams or if he's calling to the Nkuhuma pride. Now, Patricia, from what I can hear, or whoever's responding, it actually sounds like it could be some of the females that are responding. But I think he's just trying to find whoever he can. Remember, these males, because they are sort of roaming and dominating this area, they want to come past and see all the females every now and then, just to make sure that if there is anybody coming into estrus, they're going to be the ones that are mating with them. Come on, make your next move. You can see he's got a really lovely mane, and you can see how it's darkening at the tips as well. So he's slowly coming into the prime of his life. They're going to be really beautiful if they do get a little bit dark. He's almost got one dark streak on the top of his head as well. And that's normally a sign of really good genetics, is if they have a completely black mane. Beautiful boy. I can see why they call him Blondie though. That's sort of what my hair looks like when there's a lot of humidity. It frizzes up like that. You can hear all the other birds waking up this morning too. When he calls, everything sort of goes quiet in the bush. It's quite an experience actually. And now the birds have obviously realized that they can have an opportunity to voice their opinions of the morning. It's all happening on Djuma this morning. We're very lucky. Yes, one more for us. One more big roar. He wants to. He's sort of quite predictable now. He is building up to those massive roars. does a few little soft contact calls, and then he lets out a massive howl, I suppose. It's pretty amazing to be able to be sitting here and experiencing all of this. It almost feels like it's unreal. Now you're going to have a nap. It's exhausting. I don't know where he's come from, everybody. I'm still waiting for somebody to let me know where this male was last seen, so we can sort of gauge and see how far he's actually walked. Because if he has been roaming around the entire night, he may possibly just stay here and have a little siesta. He looks exhausted. Look how his eyes are closing now. One more roar. Now he's looking the other way. That's also a beautiful opportunity for a screen capture, everybody. See how every now and then he'll sort of lift his head. There we go, exactly like that. Tilt his nose up towards the wind. He's trying to pick up on their scent as well. He is sitting downwind of whoever is responding to his calls. Maybe he's saying, hey, you guys come towards me. I'm not walking all that way. It's thick bush. And I just had my hair done. I don't want it to get snagged on any of these thorns. I don't know. I don't know if he'd be saying that. He looks like a pretty boy. There we go. Now he's looking straight at us, everybody. You should be feeling that glare on your screens at home. Remember, we are live. And if you'd like to chat to us or send in any questions or any comments, you can either hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can send us an email, questions@WildEarthTV. And I so look forward to hearing from all of you this morning. Chilly. Bud from North Carolina thinks that this male lion is calling for his brothers, and he could possibly be calling for his brothers. Like I said, I think he's been walking the whole night too. Hang on, are you going to do a roar? He could also be waiting for the females. Remember, Jamie said this morning she had some audio of some more lions a little bit further north of us. But I hope he is looking for his brothers. Like I said, I'd love to see them all together. Right, everybody? Jamie has found the other cat that we were looking for this morning. So I hope you enjoy the spotted Tingana.
He's hunting. He's just 10 meters from that Impala. You can see the Impala. Oh, they've seen him. But they're not sure where he is. She's panicked. He's right there. He is right there. Let's just give it a second. They're all alarm calling. One of them spotted him, but I don't know where he is exactly anymore. That was incredible. He came so close. I'm just going to wait here for a moment. Okay. I think that's it. I think hunt over. In this thick monkey orange, he was right up close at one point to those Impala. Okay. Let's reposition. Rex, do you still have visual? Copy that, thank you. Apparently he just lay down. Perfect. So we finally caught up with him. Cheap as he moved so quickly. So quickly, in fact, that Aubrey's commented that he's not sure it's the same leopard. Shame, boy, just missed out on a meal. Sorry, everybody, this is a bit of a tricky spot, but we're going to be with him soon. Sure, you can barely see him. I can see him now. Can you spot him? Let's play Spot the Leopard. He's there. No, don't worry, I will get us a better view. So close, and yet so far. Here we go. Do with this view for now, just so that the other guests have a nice chance to see him. But there we go, the massive male leopard that is Tingana. I am whispering just because I'm parked right on top of another vehicle. Not on top, obviously. There he is, and he's up. Yep, that's him. Awesome. Sorry, try to move for you. There we go. A very hungry looking Tingana. He's been occupied with honeymoon activities with Shadow, and he obviously hasn't had a meal in a while. You can see that flap of skin on his belly. Shame. That Impala would have been really very welcome. Look at him, a male leopard in his prime, that massive neck. In fact, barely a neck at all. Head and shoulders. Oh, he's beautiful. Please don't reverse into me. Welcome to Monkey Orange Haven. How magnificent is that? Okay, we need to do some navigating and it gets very, very dense in here. So let's head back to Taylor, the lion woman, McCurdy.
This lion is really putting on a show, everybody. He let out one more roar a few moments ago, and then he flopped onto his...
He's just been chased up a tree by a lioness. I don't believe it. She came out of nowhere. I had no idea she was here. The lioness is at the base of the tree. She tried to climb the tree after him. She just missed. Don't believe that. That was such a surprise. She just came out of nowhere. Wow. My heart's going so fast. I thought she was going to get him. Oh my word. Whew. Look at Tingana all the way at the top of the marula tree. I cannot believe that just happened. I'm actually shaking. I got such a fright. I really thought she was going to get him. She just came out of nowhere. She was 2 meters at the most from him. Whew. Okay, we're going to reposition. He's okay. He's going to be okay up there, I think. That's a little bit too much of a climb for a lioness. There she is, one of our Nkuhumas. That's unbelievable. What is it with me and things chasing leopards up trees at the moment? And you, Dave? My heart's pounding. Oh, my word. She shot up that tree and then fell out. She went straight after him. She didn't even think about it. And here we have a truly African scene, a battle of the predators. She can't climb that tree, and she knows it. The opportunity is lost, and is that our young lioness? It is. It's our young lioness. Full-bellied. That was pure competition at work. If she'd caught him, there's no doubt she would have killed him. Young lionesses, young lions in general, are the ones that tend to initiate these hunts. Off she goes. Back to, I don't even know where she came from. I have no idea. I had no idea she was here. Job done. She saunters off. Dominance established. Oh, fantastic. I was so worried that we might have missed it, but luckily the wonderful girls in Final Control have a replay of the chase. So let's just wait for her to disappear. Let's just wait for her to disappear. You can hear the Impala alarm calling as she snuffles around. Oh my word. That was utterly incredible. Phew. I wonder if she's going to come back. I wonder if Tingana's thinking the same thing. Where did you come from? She's gone? I don't even know what she's after. No, it was just, she's playing, basically. Her hunting instincts are triggered. And she's keeping herself entertained. That must have been something small, a steenbok or a something that she just pounced for. And all the while, the Impala are alarm calling as if to say, oh, there's lions and leopards here. There's Tingana. He's up in the tree still. He's not going down anytime soon. Blinking in relief. Wow. That was incredible. Okay, we have the clip prepared for you. Final Control doing their marvelous job once again. Let's have a look at what transpired just a few seconds ago. You see what I mean about my heart, why my heart was racing? That was absolutely astounding. Now, I'm guessing the lioness has disappeared. I'm guessing that she's going to move back towards the rest of the lions, but he's still looking in that direction, so I don't think she's gone just yet. I'm not going to reposition. I'm going to just stick here for the moment and let the scenario play out. Well done, Tingana. The reflexes of a leopard strike again. Oh, shame. You look so miserable. Oh, he looks so sad. Shame. I think if my heart is racing, his must be too. Have you ever seen Tingana look so downcast in your life? Oh, he's beautiful. Whew, I'm so glad he got up that tree. I'm so glad that tree was there. I'm not... I mean, you're not meant to take sides, of course, but it's impossible not to in a situation like that. For new viewers, what an exciting way to start off your first sunrise safari. I do hope we've got a couple of new viewers joining us along for the first time. So this is the dominant male leopard of this area, and he's pretty much as big as they get. There's one or two that are a little bit larger, but we're talking a margin of maybe a couple of kilograms, maybe 10 kilograms at the most. So he is as big as a leopard gets. Leopards are not built to be in competition with lions. Solitary and smaller and stealthier, they rely on their speed and their reflexes and their stealth to hunt and exist. Lions, all predators do that. I mean, there's nothing that young lioness did wrong. It's pure competition, it's elimination of competition, And it happens. Right, so now I have seen a Tingana up a tree with wild dogs underneath him, and not too long ago with Dave, then the next morning with hyenas underneath him, and now with a lioness underneath him. What an extraordinary start. Now he knew instinctively he had to get as high up as possible. Yes, I do. I think that's a very, very good point, Aqua. That's exactly what happened. I think the alarm calls attracted that lioness. She came to investigate what was going on. It's just the direction that she came from was so surprising. The rest of the lionesses must be close to that kill that they were on yesterday. Close to Gowrie Main. Look at him, Shane. It's the most uncomfortable perch in the world. I think that lioness is still around. And he is not going to come out of this tree until he feels it's safe. Christine, you wanted to know if I have any idea how long he will stay in the tree for. No, I don't. I think he's got a really good vantage point. He can probably still see the lioness, or at least has a rough idea of where she is. And I think he's going to stay there until she is long gone. I don't think he wants to risk her returning and attempting and making another attempt on his life. Not a good start for Tingana. One missed Impala hunt and one lion hunt. How was your heart rate there, Dave? Sure. I don't know if in the moment it always feels closer than it is. Oh, look at him. That's really not a comfortable position, is it? That's a very good point. Those Impala are still going insane. Sorry, the lions must be walking through here. Sorry, I will get back to that Jen's comment in a moment. These Impala are furious. Everywhere. We're surrounded by 180 degrees of Impala alarm calls. It might not be a bad idea for Taylor to make her way around this corner. Triple M, Zoe's Road, somewhere around there. The lions are all in this area, I think. And poor Tingana strayed into the wrong neighborhood today. And the Impala that survived the hunt would all have started alarm calling, and you're absolutely right, and he could well have been completely distracted. Although leopards are usually very, very good at being aware of their surroundings. They have to be. They're on one of the lowest rungs of the predator hierarchy, so they have to be aware of things like wild dogs, hyenas, and lions. The only thing that's not a threat to a leopard in terms of big predators is a cheetah. Sure. Okay, let's reposition now. We can get a little bit closer now that the action's all unfolded. I wanted to keep a little bit of distance so that we could make sure we didn't miss anything. Sorry, I'm just listening to the Game Drive channel at the same time. Sure, what an exciting morning. I'm so glad we caught up with him when we did. I'm trying to find our way through here. Okay, hold on to your paintwork. in all, bravo to Connor. The reason I say that is we would still have been looking around Zoe's Road if he hadn't told us where those alarm calls came from. Okay. Alrighty. Well, Tingana is up in his tree. I am whispering into my mic just because there's other guests obviously right here, so I don't want to disturb them in any way. Oh, we did have a beautiful view a second ago. Now we've got, well, a view of his bottom. How's that for a silhouette? It's like something out of a black and white photo. Very, very beautiful. And now we wait. Now we wait. Now, William, excuse me, William in Oregon, you want to know if it's normal for a lioness to go after a leopard, and would she be protecting the cubs? Yes, it's very normal for most, well, especially lions to go after other predators, and especially lions and leopards. Yes, a lioness would absolutely defend her cubs from a leopard, and a leopard would be a threat to lion cubs if they were left alone. In that case, though, that's not what she was doing. You see it particularly with young male lions, but females as well, obviously. When they hit a certain age, when they just reach sexual maturity, it's like they're going through puberty and they're testing their boundaries. And they often go out of their way, even more so than the older, more experienced lions, to catch predators, other predators. And you see it often with hyena. Sometimes they harass rhino, even though that's a different story, but that's their learning. It's all part of the same example. They harass rhino, even though they can't. Chances of them catching one is next to nothing. They chase cheetah. They just generally go out of their way. And if you watch them, I know we've seen the Nkuhumas with tortoises before, but often you'll see they do things like try and hunt honey badger or grab tortoises. And that's not to say that other lions, adult lions, don't do it. It's just more common with the youngsters. He is not taking any chances. While he casts about and tries to figure out where those lionesses have gone, Taylor is doing something very similar. Let's see what she's found.
Now, everybody, we're trying to find the rest of the Nkuhumas as well as the other Birminghams. So Jamie suggested that we come back to the old carcass. Now we are here, and there are no lions. However, there are some vultures, which is quite amazing. And they're all coming back to feed on the carcass now. And this is one of my absolute favorite things to see in the bush, is to see vultures feeding, or a vulture feeding frenzy on the remnants here of this buffalo carcass that the lions killed yesterday morning. So they're having little bits of disputes. Look at that, see? Chasing each other around, trying to establish a pecking order. Now, I don't see any hooded vultures. I just see all these white-backed vultures, which are the most common species of vulture that we see. They're often the first ones on a kill in this area, and they've got those big, robust bills you can see. So they're able to tear through the hide of a buffalo. Now, they obviously didn't need to worry about that here because the lions kindly opened the entire carcass for them. So now they're just pecking at the scraps. There he is, in between the ribs, picking at the sinew, and getting in to all the places that those lions possibly couldn't have reached. You see, they've got that lovely long neck, which they can poke into all sorts of orifices and reach some tasty morsels that have been left behind. There we go, but this is incredible. Now they're all coming down, which is great. There were a few vehicles that were driving past which startled them. And vultures are obviously, they're not as big and brave as a lion, so they are going to be quite cautious, because if another predator were to come charging in here, they will fly away. And I think they were a bit nervous of the vehicles, but now they've settled down and they're very happy with us being here, and they've started to eat again. Oh my goodness. They've sort of got a wing in the face, those poor other birds. Yeah, do you see how cautious they are there? You're going to come back? Yes, I know you're going to come back. They're staring at us now, everybody. But you were just eating on the carcass and you were happy with us. And I'm also hoping while we're sitting here that I'm going to hear those other lions. And then that will give us a better idea as to where the pride has moved off to. And how exciting that you got to see Jamie witness that Tingana being chased up a tree. I mean, that's amazing. By my favorite lioness, the youngest lioness of the Nkuhumas. I'm envious, and I can't wait to watch the highlights a little bit later to see that sighting again. That is really, really special. And that's why you've got to keep watching the show, everybody. Every day, you can't miss it, because everything happens so quickly and you don't know what you are going to see out in the bush. I mean, I expected to start my day off with a male leopard that we heard calling close by, and it turned out to be the complete opposite. We got a male lion calling, and now we've got some vultures on a kill. It is all happening on Djuma this morning, the bustling democratic of Djuma. We're very, very fortunate. This piece of land that we've got here. There's a lot of meat for these vultures to still feed on. I'm surprised there aren't any hyenas as well, gnawing on some of these bones. But I think it is starting to smell. So hopefully in no time the hyenas come. Wouldn't it be great if they came charging through now and came and joined these vultures? I know we've all been itching to see some hyenas. Everybody keeps asking about them, and I have yet to see a hyena. Well, yes and no. I saw a hyena this morning after we walked out of our rooms and went down to the vehicles, and poor Barefoot Dave, or Downpour David, as some of you are calling him, he almost got trapped in by a hyena who was obviously coming to see if we left any scraps from last night. Now, if any of you have ever had the privilege of watching a vulture frenzy, you will know that the sounds are quite incredible. And I remember I was asked a question, what is my favorite sound in the bush? Now, the lion roars are unbelievable. The rasping of a leopard is great too. I think the most interesting sound to me has got to be the noises that come from these vultures when they all pile on top of a carcass. It sort of sounds like something out of Jurassic Park. It's quite amazing. There we go. Did you hear that, everybody? That rah! That's my vulture impression. There we go. Can you hear that? All talking, communicating with each other. Now imagine that. Imagine that when you've got 50 vultures on this carcass, the sounds that will come, all fighting for a scrap. Yeah, chase them away. You see there, establishing that hierarchy. Look at the vulture hop that they do. That's quite incredible, the way that they sort of hop like that. I think I'm going to use that, and that's how I'm going to start running from now on, like a vulture. I think it will provide much entertainment around camp. I keep hearing rustling, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping and praying that it's going to be something like a hyena that comes bursting out of a thicket and straight towards this carcass. They would have an absolute feast here. See, they're sticking his head right between the skin of the buffalo. So the vultures are not going to eat the skin. They're really just looking for bits of flesh that haven't been picked off. And it's very important to have vultures around, everybody. They clean up carcasses so quickly and prevent also the spread of disease. I suppose in some way they can also spread the disease if they are defecating in water sources, so like dams or even the mud wallows that we were seeing that are now filled with water. And if something comes and drinks out of that, if they've maybe got anthrax or something along those lines, you see vultures aren't affected by anthrax. They can raise their temperatures quite high, and they're actually not susceptible to quite a lot of different diseases. So if they pick that up and then they defecate it out, then those spores can be passed on via a water source, which is not that great, especially after they've had a kill like this. Normally they will go to a watering hole or a puddle of water that's filled up from all the rains that we've had, and they'll actually bathe and clean themselves. That's also quite amazing to see, is to see how they become putrid and covered in all this rotting flesh, and then they go and have a lovely bath afterwards. One is not happy with that other one coming closer. Oh, we're going to very quickly head on over to Jamie and see what Tingana is up to.
We have our answer to when is Tingana going to come down, and that answer is in the next few moments, but he's doing it very, very cautiously. Let's just wait and see. It also might be a little bit of a case of I got up here, I'm not quite sure how to get down, what the best way is. I don't think he was thinking when he shot up that tree, that very conveniently placed marula tree. Look at that. Oh, actually I've changed my mind and I'm just going to look for a more comfortable position. It's a useful vantage point, and since I'm up here now, might as well have a look. I think he wants to double check that there's no more surprise lionesses waiting for him, which is fair enough. I'd probably want to do the same. Now what? Now he shot up right to the top of the marula tree. He probably was about 9 or 10 meters up when he first made his way to the top. Liz, you were wondering how far the lioness would climb up, if she could. Sorry guys, sorry Liz, I've been distracted by the Game Drive channel. Apparently Shadow was with him last night. Sorry. Okay, Liz, sorry about that. Okay, guys, we do know that there are problems, major problems with our audio. We are desperately trying to sort it out, but unfortunately there isn't terribly much we can do. We're still trying to make a plan, but at this point we've tried pretty much every single avenue. The mic still seems to be on, and I am whispering because there are guests right next to us. But you should be able to hear me, unfortunately. It is what it is. We are sorry, we are aware, and we are working on it. Liz, you wanted to know how far up she'd go before she stopped and gave up. She could this is a hard tree to climb. I don't think she would have made it much. I don't even know if she would have made it to the first branch. Probably. That first limb over there. She might have made it there. She could. If you watch lions when they are determined, they can get up trees, they can climb trees. They're not very good at it, and they often fall down. But they do scramble up, so she might have made it to the second limb even. But definitely not all the way up to the top. And I think Tingana knew that. I think he knew he was safe. Shame. You can see how nervous he still is. He's still got all of that adrenaline coursing through his body. Sharp glances in different directions. And he's still checking carefully. I don't know where that lioness went. Chose to stay with Tingana, obviously. So I have absolutely no idea where she disappeared to. Here he goes. Ooh. Oh, amazing. Imagine being able to do that. This is astounding. The ability of these animals to climb is just phenomenal. Balance and poise. Right, we seem to be conducting his descent in levels. One level. Oh my gosh, there's Shadow. You must be joking. She's purring at him. He's coming down to meet her. And we have the mating dance. Oh. You missed, Shadow. He's here. Look at that. The kittish dance of a leopard in estrus. Here she comes back again. And Tingana's not having any of this. He's gone. No, not you as well. Really? Oh, Shadow. Rejected. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. He was not interested in her. That was actually quite sad. That was painful to watch. Poor Shadow. That wasn't very polite of him at all, girl. I think you're beautiful. And he's gone. Off he goes. Now who do we stay with? Goodness gracious, this is now confusing. Morning stations, just an update from our side on Voyatella. We've got Shadow and Tingana. They look like they're mobile. I'm back. Okay. Okay, let's try and stick with them. They shot off in this direction. That was quite a painful rejection. And very interesting. Oh, goodness. Can I squeeze through here? Do you think I can? I'm going to try. Almost. Not quite. I can't see them. We're playing hide and go seek in the monkey orange. That's not good. Got him? All done. There. Where's that? Oh, there they are. Got it. I'm going to reposition. Okay, while we do, let's go across to Taylor, who's got another spotted predator.
Finally, I'm so excited, everybody. Hyenas! Hyenas! It's only taken me almost 11 days to see my first hyenas live. How exciting is this? And they are probably about 18 meters west from where that carcass is, that buffalo carcass is. Come on, turn around and go the other way and you will have a feast. But I don't know if they can smell it, which is unfortunate for them, and they are not disappearing into the thicket. But we got to see some hyenas, everybody. I didn't get a good enough glimpse. It looked like it was one big female and a male. But now, sadly, they are disappearing. They would have had, I just wish I could speak animal, everybody, and then I could have told these hyenas that they could have had an amazing feast. Let's go back to that carcass, though. Let's just have one more look at those vultures. Maybe we get lucky and some hyenas have turned up. Oh, what a pity. This is where it's so important and that the animals use their sense of smell. And unfortunately, I think for that hyena, the wind is blowing in the wrong way. So they have absolutely no idea that this carcass is even here. Maybe they picked up on the lion's scent and are trying to figure out why they've been hanging around. Lake wants to know if a lion or any other predator, sorry, I'm under some power lines, so the communication is slightly distorted this morning. So Lace wants to know if a lion or any other predator were to catch a vulture, would they eat it or would they just kill it? Now, it's a bit different. I'm trying to have a look here through these trees to see these vultures that have all perched themselves up on this dead tree. Now, Lace, I've never seen it personally where predators have caught vultures. However, I've seen footage of young lions at a watering hole chasing and catching vultures, and then they did eat them. So I know where you're going with that question. So I think where Lace is, the direction that she's heading in, is that typically lions and leopards will kill other predators, but they normally don't feed on them. They will just leave them alone. Now, a hyena eats anything and everything. It'll even eat its own kind if it has died off. They don't let anything go to waste. They are the real cleanup crew in the bush, and the same goes for the vultures. They eat anything and everything. So, Lace, I'm not 100% sure, but like I said, I've seen it on one set of footage where a young lion caught a vulture, a young male lion, in fact, and it then was eaten. If it was not mistaken, I think it was in Botswana somewhere. So it does happen. I don't know how frequently it happens. I think they would prefer to go for something like an antelope or a buffalo. But I suppose if you're a young lion just starting out, you'll catch and eat anything, I suppose, to survive. Now, look at those full crops. Can you see them there? That sort of looks like a big ball on the chest of this vulture. Now, they've done eating. They are nice and full. They're going to sit there and let that all digest and roost up in the tree. Let's go forward again just to have one last look and see what's happening on the carcass. I'm always just scanning around here because I don't know where these lions have gone, everybody. I am keeping an eye out. Actually, we may have one very good view, which will make for a very nice screensaver, everybody. We've got a clearing now of these vultures with that very dark, dramatic sky in the background, and all of them perched up here. Isn't that beautiful? And I think that's the perfect picture for a vulture. It's on a dead tree with a grey dark sky in the background. It makes them almost look evil. And I think we have to say thanks to the Lion King for making vultures seem like they are evil creatures. Well, that's what I remember growing up. And that's not the case. Oh, our friend is on the termite mound again, Eggsy. We had a beautiful capture of one of the hooded vultures perched up onto the termite mound. So we're going to see if we can find that angle again. It was beautiful. And that was actually quite an amazing picture. So let's see if we can get that little angle again. It's quite difficult. Just sneak past here. Hello. Okay, Eggsy, you've got to tell me when to stop so we get that perfect angle again. Forward, maybe a little. There? Yes. Let's try him. And it's really beautiful the way this vulture has actually sat on the termite mound. There we go. Good morning, dark tranquility. Sorry, tongue-tied again this morning. So you would like to know, how does the vulture hierarchy work? Now, there are different species of vultures that we get, and the common ones that we see is the one that we're looking at now, the white-backed vulture, and then you get the hooded vulture, which are normally around 2. You get a lappet-faced vulture, and occasionally we see the white-headed vulture, but those aren't too common, I'm afraid. And what happens then is how the hierarchy works is obviously size does matter in the bush. So a lappet-faced vulture would take the lead and obviously come through and probably chase everybody else off and eat their feed. And then you may get a white-headed if they were around, but it's very uncommon that the white-headed vultures will be around. So we've got lots of vehicles coming through, so I'm going to draw attention to me this morning. Hello. And just let everybody get past. We are on a cut line. Sorry, everybody. Nobody wants to go past me this morning. Everyone's being too courteous. Actually, we just want them to zip on away. That's one of the transfer companies, obviously, fetching guests from a lodge and taking them away. So they're probably on their way home now. And then after you've got the white-headed vulture, then you'll get the white-backed, which is slightly smaller, and then the hooded falls right down below there. Now, it all depends on, has the carcass been opened already, or is it still closed? If it's a buffalo that's died of natural causes, say due to the drought that we have been experiencing, and it's not open in any way. And I have mentioned this before, so for those of you who have heard this, it's always good just to hear it once or twice after that. I love talking about vultures. So if it's a closed carcass, you'll get the hooded, who normally fly at lower levels than the other vultures. The same thing with the bateliers, the tawny eagles, and whichever other bird of prey is flying around. They'll normally come down on the carcass first. Now, they don't have big, robust beaks. They've normally got very sharp, recurved beaks, and they can't pierce open that tough hide that a buffalo has. Now, we're just talking about a buffalo carcass. This is the example that I'm using. So they're going to have to start eating the eyes. They're going to have to start eating around the nose, maybe even the tongue, and go right in towards the rump and start feeding on the anus itself. Obviously, that tissue is quite soft and it's exposed quite nicely. Now you're going to have to, I'm going to reposition just because it's not a great view, and go back to the carcass so we can watch them eat. Where's the nice little spot? And once something like either the white-backed or a leopard-faced or a white-headed comes down, they will then, and you can, maybe Eggsy, you can show them how robust their beaks are. You can see that big sort of bulk of beak on the face there. Now that beak is able to tear open the hide of the buffalo. So those hooded vultures and the tawny eagles and the bateliers will have to wait for either a white-backed or a white-headed or a leopard-faced to come through and then open the carcass that way. Normally how it works in this area is it's leopard, white-backed, hooded, and then all the smaller raptors that you see that come through as well. So I hope that answers your question, but it's quite amazing, especially when you've got an area where you've got quite a few different species of vulture that are quite common. If you get something like an elephant dying, that's obviously going to draw a lot of attention from all the different species of vultures, and then you could possibly find that you maybe get the white-headed and the leopards coming down. But you see a leopard vulture, leopard-faced vulture, that is quite special. Same thing with the white-headed. There we go, feeding away. But you can see there's no sort of sense of urgency to feed on this carcass. There's no hyenas or anything around, so they're just nibbling and eating as much as they can and then flying up to the trees and perching themselves where they'll let all that food digest. Come on, eat away. You see that one stuck its head right in. And also notice how there's very few feathers around on the head. And that is so that they can stick their necks in quite far and reach all the little bits that have been missed. There we go, going right in, except that bone is obstructing you, the bone between his wings. Well, I don't know if it's a male or female. There you go, in you go again. There we go, that's so if you close your wings, you can go through that little gap. Much easier. I think everybody must be sort of glued to their seats this morning with all the action that is going on. Just around every single corner, something is happening. Aaron from New Zealand. I'm so sad that you are not going to be able to watch us for a week. So Aaron says that this is the last sunrise safari that he is able to watch for an entire week. You're going to be itching when you come back from wherever you are going, if you're going on a trip. But remember, you can always watch the highlights. So you can go to the Facebook page and of Safari Live, and you're welcome. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit confused. Obviously, I'm still sleeping this morning. Aaron, I suppose we're expecting the Mara sort of drives, our long 7-hour drives coming up soon, and that makes a little bit more sense. My brain is not working too well. So remember, everybody, from tomorrow, we're not going to be doing any sunrise drives. We're going to be starting in the afternoon, but it's going to be exciting because we're going to be doing drives well into the darkness of the night and have an opportunity to try and find some of those special creatures that we normally don't get to see. So like the elusive aardvark, which Jamie has never seen. So keep your fingers crossed, and it's a perfect opportunity for her to be able to try and find one now, especially just after the rains, and hopefully the weather warms up. We're going to be looking for things like civets and like I said, the aardvark, honey badgers, bush babies, all those wonderful little creatures. So, Aaron, I don't think it's too much of a bad thing that we're going to have a little rest from the morning safaris. A lot of things happen when everybody else goes to bed. It's like the animals here have learnt game drive times. Sometimes I find that during the times we don't normally go out, we see amazing things. I wonder if we can have one more look of this vulture on the termite mound. It's starting to groom itself, which is quite nice. Got its wings splayed open. Let's see if we can find a little gap here. Where are you? There's lots of monkey orange around here, which is proving quite difficult to see this vulture. I have to go back. Eggsy, you have to tell me when you've got a gap. Good one. There. Is that good? There we go. Teamwork, everybody. With the Eggsy's a little bit further behind me, and I want him to have the best. There we go. So if he has the best view, that means then you have the best view at home. So you can see this vulture had its wings opened much wider, so I think hopefully it'll do it again. And it was preening and grooming all the feathers. Come on, open your wings so we can see your wingspan. They've got a massive wingspan, the white-backed vultures. It's about anywhere between 1.5 and 1.7 meters, which is quite large. Very quiet. No hyenas calling. Haven't heard the lions calling again. So we'll do a little drive around. One more look to see if we can find the rest of the pride, and if we don't get lucky, then possibly we will return to Blondie, one of the Birmingham boys, and see if he's still laying about. Now, I was very confused because on our way towards this carcass, I had very fresh male lion tracks going up and down the road, and I'm thinking that it is, and which basically led all the way to where Blondie is laying. So I think he's just been walking around trying to find everybody and kept missing them. Possibly he even came and scavenged on this buffalo carcass, and that's why he's got a full belly. And now he's just looking for the rest of the pride, and maybe they are in a very thick block, and that's why we haven't seen them. They're probably laying down, just resting, sleeping off their full bellies. There we go, you can see this one grooming away. Oh, that feather was obviously old and it needs to come out. This kind of reminds me of my mom when I was a young girl and she used to brush my hair, and sometimes I'd have a little, like a strange colour hair, like a grey hair or something. She always used to pull it out of my head. I don't know why, but I can imagine that's what that must have felt like when that bird pulled out that old feather. Just glancing at us, making sure we're not plotting an attack. No, nothing. You're not interested in us. We're just watching you, watching us. Lovely. Oh, I got excited. I thought that I heard something in the distance. It just seems to be another vehicle revving. So Jason wants to know if I have any idea when we will be expecting baby vultures. And they should start breeding now, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just have a look in the book. Let's open the bird book. Like I said, I don't want to feed you incorrect information, and I'm not 100% sure, but I thought that they had started laying their eggs already. Let's look at the white-backed vulture, seeing as we are talking about them. Let's see. Yes, they say that they do start breeding now, sort of August, September. So they are probably a month or two after that, we might start seeing little ones. So apparently there's an active nest on Arathusa, and maybe we'll have to take a drive down towards Arathusa one afternoon or one morning, possibly one afternoon. Maybe that's something we can do tomorrow, to go and find this nest and see if it is active, because I've never found it before. So I'll ask Jamie where we need to go, and then possibly, Jason, I'll be able to follow up on your question for you. How does that sound? Tomorrow afternoon, so hopefully you watch, and then we can go and do a bit of investigating. Amazing. Right, everybody, I think we're going to try and find out where the lions are. So let's go back, and we're going to go to Jamie and... Ooh, no, that doesn't sound good. Let's go to Jamie and see how those leopards are doing.
What a beautiful morning. Heavy clouds, it's looking absolutely lovely. We just wanted to have a look at the sky and the stunning scenery that we have in front of us after all the excitement of the morning. So, Shadow and Tingana crossed into Arathusa. I gave up my spot in the sighting to make way for other vehicles. However, I'm going to hang around the area, and hopefully we can go back towards the end of the sunrise safari once everyone's had a chance to have a look, just to keep you updated. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh goodness. We good? Okay, nobody move. It's a good thing I don't need to move at all. Just to keep you updated on the situation, Shadow did eventually manage to get Tingana's attention despite his best efforts, and they did mate twice while we were just waiting for them to go across. So she did have success there. There's nothing like a female leopard. They don't take no for an answer, really, even when the male runs away, as a Tingana did. It was quite an interesting sighting. So I think he's hungry, and I think they've been mating for a long time. In Cat in Tampa, you were wondering if perhaps a cat portal had opened, and the cats were just streaming in from every which direction. Absolutely. Quite astounding, really. We've had unbelievable sightings. We've been incredibly fortunate. That's the nice thing as well about rain. And speaking of rain, I'm just wondering, we're okay for now. We're starting to get the odd raindrop. Dave, let me know if you need to pop the camera cover on. I'm not going to complain. A couple of drops of rain never hurt anyone. And for the bush, it is absolutely necessary. And what's so perfect about this rain at the moment is that it's gradual, it's gentle. It's not washing away any topsoil. The thirsty ground can just soak it up. It is marvelous. I'm very curious to see. There is a sighting with the two males and the female. We were there yesterday with their baby buffalo kill, and they are still there this morning. And I'm curious to see. I'm going to let Taylor take that if she wants to. I haven't called myself in, but if she'd like to go and take that sighting, she's welcome to. And I'm very curious to see if it's that young lioness that we just saw chasing Tingana. Because I think she might have got up and gone for a little bit of a walk, maybe investigated. Because yesterday it was the young lioness with the two males, and after we left you at the end of the sunset safari, Dave and myself stayed behind for a little bit longer just to do some testing of various equipment, because as Taylor's been telling you, we have exciting things planned, which is why my car looks like something out of Back to the Future. with its two fantastic lights in the front. Unfortunately, just the wrong angle to show you, so I can't show you what they look like, but it's very fancy. So we stayed out to chest how we're going to manage this and what we're going to do. And the male kept going up to the female and phlegm grimacing and scent testing her to see whether or not she was ready to mate. And at one point he just pushed it too far, and she turned around and gave him such a walloping. We've seen it with the lionesses, how they can turn around and they just get so angry and they batter the males, and the males get this, what did I do, expression on their face, and kind of backing up and half snarling, not quite sure what to do with themselves. I think it was the young lioness, it wasn't Amber Eyes, and that was, unless I'm very much mistaken, and I know you guys are all probably taking screenshots, I think that was that young lioness again that chased Tingana up the tree. In fact, I know it was the young lioness that chased Tingana up the tree. So there we go. I wonder if she's back there now. Apparently, Aubrey's had tracks of the lioness with cubs, at least one lioness with cubs in this area, so we're also just checking it out, making sure that we haven't missed a chance to see them. Hello, Impala. Looking a bit chilly. Looking very dark red this morning, as they are wont to do on a chilly summer morning. But they won't have a hole in its neck. The one that walked behind the tree. It does too. What do we think? Fight, probably. Most likely. Another Impala. They're not rutting at the moment, but they are occasionally crashing horns and sparring. You can see a little bit jumpy every time another male walks past. And definitely very puffed up and a bit cold. Oh, let's go watch that. I hope they keep doing it. Oh, we've got a response. Where? Okay, hold on. Territorial conversation happening between two green woodhooper groups, or possibly just communication between one group. I'm hoping we get to keep going, keep going, keep going. Ah, ah. The joys of live wildlife filming. Where's the second group? Can you hear them? Oh, now the babblers have started. All having a wonderful time. Let's see if we can't see them again. So that was green woodhoopers. And the reason why I wanted to, is so desperate to show you them, is when they do that display, they rock backwards and forwards in this way that actually gives them the nickname, the cackling old woman. Like they're howling with laughter. There they are. Can you see them there, Dave? They're in the dark tree at the back. The dark tree at the back. That possibly wasn't the best description. Oh, yes, left a little. And go in there. There they are. Well done. Full of the joys of spring. There's a juvenile being fed by the adult with its dark beak. It doesn't have the red bill. Oh, and somebody popping in to join in the fun. Oh no, it does have the red bill. So 2 juveniles they've got there. Awesome. Oh, and we're all gone. Spring has sprung, and all of the birds are chirping merrily away. We've come upon a bird party. Let's try. Can you sort of get in there, Dave? Oh, Oh, now the Francolins have started. What else can we find? The babblers are going off. It's interesting to see how the calls of the wood hoopers, it started with the green wood hoopers or the red-billed wood hoopers as they used to be known, now translated into a whole lot of birds calling. The babblers were calling just here, but let's have a look at the Francolin. Maybe they're going to give us a call in response to the others. Oh, sorry. And the dawn chorus is a way of, although it's a little bit past the time of the dawn chorus, but it's basically the different groups telling each other where they are, that they're here, the males sort of testifying to their dominance. And for my own curiosity, I want to see what the book says about the call. Hello, Crested Francolin. Ah, harsh chattering and cackling. That's not as exciting as I thought. One very drenched looking Crested Francolin. Luckily they are covered in preen oil that comes from the preen gland. So a lot of the time when they're... Oh! Lovely. So what that Francolin just said was, good morning, I am here. We are here, actually, there's two of them. We are here, where are you? And then the other groups of Crested Francolin in the area respond. They're not strictly territorial, but they do have home ranges that they move about in. They only really fight, and they can have serious fights, when there is a female that two males are fighting over. But other than that, they live relatively peaceful lives. That conversation was just to say, where's everybody else? We are here. Hello. It's the bird equivalent of posting a Facebook status saying good morning. Because it